Cheyenne, do you need a minute? Okay. All right, here we go. Good evening and welcome to this special call meeting, June 22nd, 2026 of County Council. We will call this meeting to order and have the invocation by Vice Chairman Brownlee, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for all your many blessings. Lord, I just ask that you guide our decisions tonight, that we make decisions that's what's best for the residents of this county. Please bless us this time that we have, and please bless us on our journeys home. It's in your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item would be approval of our agenda. It's a pretty concise agenda, but I will ask now.
Second.
Motion is second. Any changes to the agenda? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. 5-0. Next item would be reports to council. County Administrator Jerry Threet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any announcements today other than just welcoming everyone Sunday for Carolina Day. I'm sure that you can have all of those times and everything, but I think it starts at, is it 3 o'clock at First Baptist Church? Okay, 3 o'clock at First Baptist Church. There'll be a service there, then a walking parade from the church to the courthouse, and then there will be a presentation on the courthouse steps. And following that, they'll go over to the Lawrence County Museum. And I believe that's all that I have.
Excellent, thank you. We'll get right to the business we have before us this evening. And before we do that, on old business, I would ask the county administrator to walk us through, because the first item is, well, let's have public hearing first, and then I'll ask you to comment. So next item is public hearing of ordinance 1007. It's an ordinance to establish the budget for Lawrence County for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, ending June 30th, 2027. At this time, anyone wishing to speak for or against ordinance 1007, please step forward, state your name.
Ask a couple of questions, that's all. It's very simple. As before council votes tonight, I would respectfully ask for clarification for just a couple of points. First, the ordinance states that the proposed levy exceeds the allowable index by 10.45%, while the allowable index is 4.53%. Could council or the county attorney explain the specific authority under South Carolina law is being relied upon to exceed that allowable index? And second, if the county is relying upon the provision of section 61320 to exceed the allowable index, does that require a supermajority vote of council approval? And if so, what vote threshold applies to tonight's action? And I just believe the citizens deserve a clear answer to these couple of questions, particularly during the reassessment year, when many property owners are already facing uncertainty regarding their future tax bills. Thank you.
Perfect, and yes. Mr. Threet.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to call Casey Fabens, our finance director, up to the mic. I believe this has to do with rollback and the required rollback requirements that we had this year.
That's correct. So under the statute that was stated earlier, you can go back 3 years of unused millage. So that 10% is from the millage we haven't used in the 3 previous years to make the budget balance. This year we have used those, and that is within or account with that statute.
So related to that specifically, what Ms. Garrison stated, does that change the requirements or rules of council by which they would approve by regular majority or anything like that?
No, sir, because it is not for debt reserve or any special revenue fund. It is just a standard look back.
Okay. Thank you. Did that get you? Awesome. Anybody else would like to speak for or against the ordinance this evening, 1007? Seeing none, we'll close this public hearing. Now I would ask the county administrator if he could, for us, and I believe it's on the screen, walk us through this budget, how we arrived here, and where we are with this vote this evening.
Thank you, sir. So what I'm going to do is a very high-level overview of where we've been for the workshops and where we are now. I'm not going to speak individually about departments and things like that, but I hope I've made this big enough so that everyone can see it. And can everyone hear me in the back? Okay, good. We did some work, some tweaking on the microphone, so hopefully that's going to help out a lot. So on May 11th, we had our very first budget workshop, and I know that you've heard our assessor speak multiple times about how the reassessment taxable value went up. So countywide, it went up 13%. And below you'll see the numbers there that that is real property plus personal vehicles and things. So that brings up to $256 million. Initially, we had an adjustment factor for appeals and uncollectible. We had that at 4.5%. That was being very conservative. So that brought the total taxable value, which is the value of a mill, at $245,000. I'm just seeing that yeah, that is correct up there. 256 million is the reassessed taxable value. So our initial workshop, we recommended 2% cost of living plus longevity where eligible. And as far as that goes with the county, every other year on your anniversary, you get a 2% longevity increase. During that one, we were looking at what the budget would look like as is if we added no new positions or reclassifications. So you can see our department requests were $43,838,000. And I am looking at the general fund. I'm not including fire or rural collections. So at that time, we had rolled back the millage from 105.05, which is what it was in fiscal year 26, the year that we're currently in. When we rolled that back, we arrived at a millage rate of 102.51. And as you can see, our revenues were at $39.9 million. Our expenses were projected to be at 41.1. And 41.1 was just to provide, the services, the essential services that we could. And what we would have is we would be pulling $1.1 million from the deficit reduction. That's our reserve fund that goes into an account, and we would basically balance the budget from that deficit reduction. At this level, you would have unfunded department requests of $2.7 million. After that workshop, we went to a very quick, that was a Monday, and then we had another budget workshop on that Thursday. And what we did is we reduced the adjustment factor on those collections to 2%, which brought us up to our current mill, and that is $251,596. We recommended, our consumer price index for this year is 2.63. We did have some requests in our departments that exceeded this. So we ended up going with a recommendation of a 3% cost of living increase, whereas, like Pickens County has done a 5% increase for their employees recently. So we did the 3% cost of living pay band. If you had gotten a promotion or you had moved up in a pay band, look at the cost of living as that is just to keep up with inflation. The pay band is actual promotion, increase into your, let's say you went from a lieutenant to a captain. And then the longevity increase that I mentioned. This is where we came in and started adding an employee request. We had 24 full-time employees requested. Administration recommended 9 of those. And then we had 5 part-time employees requested, and administration recommended 2. So again, back to your department request, that number has not changed. It's still at 43,838. And if you look at this, our millage rate went from, the 105 from last year, 102 rolled back to 110.29. Now, what that does is it brings our revenues up to basically $42.5 million, and our expenses are 42.5. So we have a budget, a balanced budget. And then on the deficit reduction side, it is now in the positive territory. So we are not pulling from a deficit reduction to balance our budget. And then if you look at the unfunded department request, that gets down to $1.374 million. Jumping to the second reading, again, the value of your mill is still $251,596. That includes the same 3% COLA, pay band, and longevity. We did have one additional part-time employee added between our second budget workshop and our second reading, and that was for an part-time animal control officer. Again, department requests haven't changed. So you can see that this is where we ended up with second reading. It jumped slightly for the addition of that animal control officer and, I need to say this right, the on-call pay for E911 dispatch. And so anyway, we do have positive in our deficit reduction in our reserves, and then the unfunded request still $1.34 million. So, everybody didn't get what they asked for, but we were able to fund some of the request. And then this last slide, I'll just show you, there's a lot in there between the 70s and the 100s, but just for clarity, as we're talking about the general fund, in fiscal year 26, which is the year we're currently in until July 31st, we were at 71.67 mils. For fiscal year 27, beginning on July 1, we're at 78.69 mils. So that's a 7.02 increase in the millage. But when you look at the countywide millage, you're going from 105.05 to 110.29. So there were certain parts of the mills in there that were actually rolled back that we didn't add to. So that really brings us down to an actual millage increase of 5.24%. And that is the end of my little overview.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Threet or need any clarification on what the explanation was for the process? The item we're looking at is item B, third reading of ordinance 1007, the FY 26-27 general operating budget. Is there a motion to approve? I will make the motion to approve. Now we'll have discussion. Would anyone like clarification on any items that I could help you with, or we could get that answered?
I'm gonna tell you me. Look, I tell everybody, lots of this stuff did not come up under my watch. I want everybody to know that from the facts. I realize you got a general fund, you got a capital fund, you got a special fund, you got MES operation fund, you got solid waste fund, you got fire operation capital fund, and you got ATAC fund. Is that right? I'm just going by?
Yes, sir, there are lots of funds in there. Those are some of the ones that you mentioned.
Okay, all right. Let me make my other little sticky notes. It ain't have nothing to do with this budget. Thank y'all for y'all hard work, what y'all did, put behind this. And I know it ain't easy. And I just want to give everybody a compliment. Finance, y'all ladies, Deputy Director, my clerk of court, thank y'all for putting it in your county administrator. I know this is not an easy task, and I know this is your first task that you came on, sir. And it like this, that change is gonna come. And I realize that I just want Lawrence County, they like this, we have the funds, but y'all know my goal is. My goal is to start everybody pay raise at $15 an hour, not no $11.50, $12 an hour job. Because I don't know how these people make it and stuff. But that's my next goal, y'all. I don't know how we gonna do it. But my goal is to get everybody at least starting pay to $15 an hour. And I know it ain't gonna come out of this year's budget because you already done told me that. But we thank you, and I'll leave all my other comment at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For that, would you mind touching on expected revenues for next year?
So one thing that, and is GW Daly here? Would you mind speaking to the new construction that I think it's like $350 million of new construction that we would be receiving the taxes in arrears?
So I don't understand the question. What are you at?
Mr. Brownlee asked about revenues for next year. I was just going to point that one out because that's a revenue that we will receive that we did not receive this year. And so as we're looking at revenues, Mr. Brownlee, I'm thinking that we're going to have additional FELOs to come online.
Our reassessment number does not include new construction. We had about $350 million in new construction this year. That's not in those numbers. That's my understanding. It's not in those numbers. About 30 million of that was taken away through Department of Revenue, where they tax it and then flows back to us. So about 320 or so million dollars of new construction is not included in those revenue figures. We tax in arrears. If a property was constructed last year, it'll be billed this year.
Let me ask you this, sir. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's for everybody. I'm learning. I'm telling everybody, but I'm writing everything down. It ain't got nothing to do with your department. Thank y'all department what you do. Only way y'all gonna see that we gonna get ahead, that's just my opinion. We got to start this CST. We got to start now. Because, and then we need to pass, so it don't be passed on to all the taxpayers. We need to start, I know y'all say it's in the making, but we need to make it happen soon as possible. We need to start rooftop taxes on rooftops, or y'all call it, I got the other part y'all call it, but we need everybody who can start building houses, we need to start adding make it $5,000 per thousand that the county, when they go come and buy, allows them to build a house to take care of the offset from the taxpayer people. So now we can build, when the sheriff department needs something, MES needs something, the fire department needs something, that money we put in put a special budget for them so we can not make the taxpayer be paying for all of this.
The impact fee?
Impact fee, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. but we need to start that impact fee, y'all. We need to, on every house. The city of Clinton done it, and look at the city of Clinton. We the county. If the city of Clinton got it going on, how damn we bigger than the city?
Probably not pertaining to the budget, but can I address it real quick?
Yes.
Do we have, I know we have the study going on, do we have any estimated timeline as to when they'll report back to us on any findings?
Our impact fee firm that is doing the study for us has met with the sheriff's department, with the fire department, Parks and Recreation, still got to meet with Public Works. They're hoping to have the initial draft of it before the end of the year. So we're probably looking another 3-4 months before I'll have the first draft for you guys here.
We can't make it listen, y'all, just my opinion. Everything I tell everybody, just my opinion. So right now, we gotta wait 90 more days, you're saying?
So impact fees aren't in this budget, and we're discussing this budget right now. We can discuss impact fees at the next council meeting specifically.
I'll be happy to,
Yeah.
just for a short answer,
Okay.
the state law makes us jump through a lot of hoops
I know
for impact fees.
I know.
So, yeah, we're
But
doing
I
it.
don't see why we gotta go to an outside firm when we can do it ourselves, can't we?
We can't. You got to have an engineering firm that comes in and does these studies and figures out your level of service and things like that. You have to have an engineering firm. If we had a county engineer, maybe, but without a county engineer, we have to hire an outside firm.
I just think that we need this impact fee. I call it rooftop. 'Cause when people come in and get allows them for a house, they already pay for it, don't care, they don't bill it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Is everybody clear what Mr. Threed asked and what GW said? Okay. Any other questions? All right, I'll call the question. We are ready to vote on third reading of ordinance 1007, the FY 26-27 general operating budget. All those in favor of approving on third reading the ordinance 1007, please raise your right hand. All those opposed? It is, get my numbers right, 5-2 with 4-2, Councilman Brownlee and Lane in opposition. Next item is public hearing for ordinance 1008. This is our ordinance for the Lawrence County Fire Service budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. At this time, we will open public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak for or against ordinance 1008, please step forward at this time. Pardon? This is the public Cheyenne, can you give me some volume? Awesome. This is the public hearing for ordinance 1008, the Lawrence County Fire Service budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027. So this is your time. This is the public hearing for ordinance 1008. Please come forward if you want to speak for or against. As you just came in, this is public hearing for the fire budget. If either of you would like to speak for or against, that's what we're doing right now. Awesome. Seeing none, we'll close this public hearing. We'll move on to item D, which is it says second reading. This is a third reading of ordinance 1008, the FY 26-27 fire budget. Is there a motion to approve? I'll second it. So there's a motion and a second. Yes, sir. Mr. Metz, can you explain the FILO structure for Councilman Filson?
Yes, Chairman. Each multi-county industrial park has a different FILO revenue distribution. Some of it does go to the general fund, in which case it supports all county operations. Depending on which park, I'll just give you the Hunter Industrial Park, for example. 25% goes to Lawrence County for our general fund, 25% goes to the city of Lawrence, 25% goes to the LCDC Economic Development Fund. And I'm blanking on where the other 25% goes. It goes to a park maintenance fund. So some of the FILO revenues do go into our general fund. There's just none that are allocated specifically for the fire department. I wish I could speak to that, but that was before my time as well. I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
How can we get that? We had to get with Mr. Coleman, or we up here make that happen?
Council does control the distributions of the FILO revenue. So that would be a decision for council to make.
Yes, county council can reallocate the FILOs however they want to structure those.
Because before, I was told, companies used to give $1,000 back to department.
I'll be happy to look and see what the historical practice was for that and get back to you on that.
My goal is, like I tell everybody, Lonnie, but it like this. I'm a taxpayer like everybody else. Everybody here pay taxes. That it like this. We can offset some of this to the business. That's all. Because it coming out, everybody is putting their money into all of these departments, but we ain't seen, so that's all I'm saying. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments on the fire budget?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I know there were some questions raised in previous workshops regarding the maintenance position. I was just wanting to confirm that we are still wanting to do that. I know there were some questions brought
Yes,
up in the-
we did put that maintenance technician in the budget for this year.
Gotcha.
Clark, you good? I'll call the question. We'll now take a vote on the approval of ordinance 1008, third reading, FY 26-27 fire budget. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed? 6-0. We don't have any new business on this agenda that we approved, so we'll move into county council comments. I'll start with Councilman Lane.
Hey, y'all. Packed house, a lot more people than last time, which I think is a great thing, that this many people are engaged and interested and involved. For those of you who have not typically come to previous meetings, I always say to, reach out to me if you have an issue, if you have a question, anything like that with the county. It's an open line. You can always reach out to me, call, text, email, whatever works better for you. And I will just say, I did vote no on the general operating budget, but that's not to discount the work that the administrator put in, the finance department put in, and all the hands that we had on deck. It's not my vote was not to discount their work or to go against them. We have a job to do up here. So that was an honest vote. It was not meant to do any harm. But yeah, as always, reach out to me if you have any issues or anything. Appreciate y'all.
Ms. Clark.
Good evening, everyone. It's just good to see all of you here being concerned about Lawrence County, because this is where we work and live, so that's good. Do address your issues, concern about Lawrence County, but I know we can't fix it all, but together we can work some things out. And if you hadn't took a tour of our new facility, please do. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you all will too. We're working, trying to get things done, but it takes you, each one of you, to help us out as well. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, and have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Mr. Yance? None for you. Mr. Filson?
I ain't figured where to start at.
What was it?
Hey, y'all, good people. I just appreciate all y'all help doing all of this again. That I realize that some of us is new up here. I'm learning this budget. Next year, I would be a little better, hands on it. I know finance department, y'all the one, and JW, your department, the audit and stuff. I just realized that we need to start the CST in every department, y'all, all the people here. So my goal is that I like to see on the CST department, the sheriff department, get a new building. We need a training center. We need a gun range, what y'all call it, gun range. We need the land for that. And I know it's gonna come out of the taxpayer money. We get that penny sales tax started again. And just hope that we have some good projects on the list for y'all, so y'all can vote for this penny sales tax. We got enough, I think we got a bunch of new buildings gonna be river curtains coming soon. What should be the next one, sir?
The next building is going to be the Emergency Services Facility that will become our new Emergency Operations Center. And I am assuming that that's going to be late July, early August for that one.
When we gonna do MES, when they're gonna be up with their delegation, river curtain?
We'll do that one right around the same time. We may do that within a week apart or in the same week, since those two units will go hand in hand.
Okay.
That building is finished. It's just a matter of having a ribbon cutting for that.
All right, let me ask you this, sir. Let me remember, I got so much going in my mind. I need y'all, someone get back with me, because next year, my goal is, while I'm here, I want to see MES, y'all can tell me why we are serving out Prism Health when we can have our own ambulance service, and tell me how many personnel we got to have. Because my district in Ross Hill, those same people pay the same taxes that everybody else paying. So I want ambulance service in my district. And so I don't worry about no, because all of them up here got ambulance service. I'm worrying about Ross Hill, Waterloo, all of them. Joanna need it too. But we paying $1 million some dollars, I heard, I don't know that the right figure, that we paying this serving out the Prism Health when we got our own medic. We can keep an ambulance, we can keep a vehicle, we can put personnel on. Still us serving out. Everybody want to rub each other's hands up here. Well, we need to rub the hands of people in Lawrence County who pay taxes. I know Prism Health is big. And remember, they not the only ambulance service we got here. These people in Lawrence County pay the same taxes in my district, Joanna, because all y'all 3 and 4 and all y'all got ambulance where y'all live at. And that's the way I look at it. And so, and next year, I hope sometime we at the table again, that we can be putting on the table that MES gonna be in my district. And I'm not voting, I'm letting you know ahead of time. I'm not voting until I get MES in my district. Those people saying lives, it ain't about no heat map, Because a heat map don't come when somebody's life need to be saved. So that's the way I look at it. And I don't care if they 15 or 40 minutes out or whatever, that's still somebody's time. And it like this, some of y'all got ambulance service in your backyard. So I look at it like I see it. So I'm letting y'all know, these people, and some of y'all got, and like this, ain't never paid taxes in Lawrence County. So that's the way I look at it. And it like this, that it brought to my attention, and I tell you, I don't try to go behind no door. Over at the county military office, it ain't no vending machine, no bank machines, or nothing for those people working there every day. Everybody ain't gonna walk down to Palmetto to find food. So it won't mean no harm. So what the deal is why we can't have vending machines in the building for those peoples? Is there some kind of rules and regulation? I don't know about it. So I want y'all to look into it why we ain't got vending machines in the machines for those people, for our workers.
I'll comment on that. That is something that I have been looking into because we will have some type of vending services down at the new ESF building, and we've been exploring different options for that. We used to have, there is a soft drink machine back in the back that's been unplugged for I don't know how many years. So we did have an arrangement with a group to do that, but we're no longer doing that. So yeah, I agree. Something I'm looking into.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, everybody, which all y'all do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From Lawrence County Council, District 6, thank you.
Mr. Brownlee.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. Also, again, I echo Mr. Lane's sentiments. Thank you to all the county staff. Y'all poured countless hours into this budget. No votes, not against y'all. It's just simply for the citizens. I know I have a new administrator, been here 6 or 7 months, a new finance director, so I'm really looking forward to this next budget year and getting things where we need them to be. Maybe some opportunities to save money, and I know we have some new construction coming online next year, so I believe next year we'll be in a much better place. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Awesome, thank you. Wow. It was a tough budget year, but everybody had the same opportunity as everybody else to study, ask questions, and do things. So I hope everybody felt like they had an opportunity to participate. The budget was as close to regular operating as we could possibly do. The increase was due to personnel costs, additional personnel that we added, and the cost of living increases. It was simply taking care of our people who take care of us. That's what the budget was. It's an increase, but you live in it. The economy is not easy, and people that work for a living, you work for a living, you're being squeezed, so we just tried to do what we could within reason with what we had. It was a rollback of millage in a reassessment year. GW warned us, and he warned us, and he warned us, and he said there's going to be these things, and they are there. You got your the next meeting, I'm sure, will be very exciting. Interested to hear what everybody has to say, but there were some notices that came out. We assessed the property. Taxable rates went up. But there are some revenues online that we'll see next year that will help the budget, hopefully help us to do things we need to do. If it turns out there needs to be an ambulance in Cross Hill for Mr. Filson, maybe there'll be funds there to provide that and all the things that everybody deems important to our community, that we can do that. And do it within the revenues that we have. So it's an exciting time for this group going forward, and I look forward to watching what happens. It's going to be exciting. I will say this. EMS is what I know. I've been in it over 3 decades, and I'm thanking personally Prisma Health for what they've done helping us staff ambulances in our county. And they did it at the rates they were doing it at. Were absolutely extraordinary for us. The benefit to this county was amazing, And so I'll thank them again. It costs a lot of money to provide an ambulance with paramedics on it 24/7. It does. And they really have been a good partner for us, knowing they've been a help. And I am 100% for this county controlling its EMS completely. That's fine, but don't put them as some kind of boogeyman or something that was being played. They really provided good service to the county, and so I'm going to take this time to thank them for that. We'll see what this budget turns out. Regardless of the fact that it did increase millage, I think it answered a lot of questions we had. It provided a lot of resources we need to provide, and it put our employees first with the compensation and things that we needed to do. So with that, I'm proud of that. I'll let that sit where it does. We will close this meeting, and if you'll give us 5 minutes after this meeting before we'll start the public input, I apologize that we're a few minutes over. That'll give us an opportunity to maybe get some water or something, but with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? All those opposed? We'll stand adjourned. Thank you. Okay, good evening. Welcome to this quarterly public input session of the Lawrence County Council. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:22. I apologize for the tardiness of it, but we got some business taken care of this evening. Our first item is to approve the agenda for this meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Any changes to the agenda? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All right. 6 of us, right? 6-0. The next item is the quarterly public input session. I think it's important that everybody who wants to speak gets to speak. We did have a sign-up sheet, so I'll go by that first. And then if you aren't on this sign-up sheet and you want to speak, there's a blank sheet on the podium. And you'll just, when you come up, if you'll just sign in for it, that'd be great. So we will start pitchforks to the left, torches to the right. Jonathan Dickerson on taxes.
Hello. My name is Jonathan Dickerson. I came to speak today because, like many lifelong residents, I'm concerned for the people of our county. 2 weeks ago, we received our new property reassessment notices. For families who have lived here for generations, those numbers are a financial shock. We haven't added on to our homes, we haven't bought more land, yet our on-paper home values are increasing. Sorry about that. Developers are building thousands of homes that are overpriced that locals can't even afford them. When people from out of our county buy these homes, the natives are being penalized with these reappraisals just for living. But what frustrates us even more is what we're actually getting for our money. We're told our county is growing and prospering, yet our basic infrastructure is kept unkept and outsourced. We don't even have an active landfill. Instead, Lawrence County taxpayers are footing the bill to haul our waste across county lines to Greenville County. More out-of-county growth means more trash, higher hauling fees, and a heavier burden on the people who built this county. You cannot expect native working-class families to subsidize out-of-county growth. That strains our infrastructure while hiding the true cost in fees and inflated valuations. If you're going to allow outside markets to dictate our housing prices and rely on neighboring counties to handle our basic services, you must protect the people who live here. I urge the county to roll back the millage rates so we aren't priced out of our own backyard.
Thank you. Thomas Anderson. Thomas Anderson, you still here? Okay, thank you. Jacqueline, it starts with an S. I don't want to. Jacqueline S. It could be. Okay. Barbara Maddox. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Nick Lyons.
Good evening, Council. I, as well as a lot of, my personal is on the infrastructure for Lawrence County. We are sitting here, we're getting increased, as like was already stated about the taxes on the increase. The property value hasn't went up. I haven't added anything to my property. Naturally, in this economy, all of a sudden, from 15 years ago when I bought my property and what it was appraised at, and we're basing it off of unrealistic numbers anyway, off of the base. I mean, these houses, my house is $150,000 when I bought it. It was appraised $160,000. Now, overnight, over the years, it's all of a sudden worth, on paper, $275,000, $300,000. Unrealistic numbers. The infrastructure for Lawrence County doesn't meet. We've got more people coming in. The highways, I mean, just the other day, and coming out of Gray Court, on the old road. It almost cost a rim right in the middle of the road. I mean, we're failing in areas that should be at the top of the list. As well, how often and accurate is all of the assessment when they're doing the property? I ask that because I lost my building, which I'm not going to get on that part too much because of the fire department. They've done a great job on trying to do work with what they could, but on the route on our road, because it's private, trying to get down to my house, which is at the end of Deer Meadows. I lost my building 3 years ago. On my taxes, I'm still paying for 2 buildings and haven't had a building on. I lost a building 3 years ago in a fire. So how often is someone via satellite? We're basing it off of 2021 satellite imaging.
So I'm going to answer all your questions.
Those are things that I, as a taxpayer, and I'm not alone on that because I've done seen it and talked to numerous people that actually lost buildings in Helene. They were still charged for those buildings are no longer here, and those are still on our taxes. So how are these assessments being done? Is what I'm coming back to, accuracy. But we've got all these increases in dollars, and like I said, the value unrealistic. They're fictitious numbers at the end of the day. And the main thing comes back to the infrastructure. I mean, we need improvement. That's all I got.
Thank you. GW, would you mind terribly coming up here for a second? Because this is the group that needs to hear the process. One, how we arrived at it, and two, how they could appeal it. All right, everybody, this is the man who's going to give us the answers.
All right, I started coming to these meetings in November. The state requires the county to reassess all the property every 5 years.
Can y'all hear in the back? Okay.
Started coming to these meetings about 7 months ago. The state requires us to reassess all the properties in the county every 5 years. This was our year. So it's not something you can do overnight. So beginning in September of 2023, we started trying to visit every property. We did not visit every property. We got the high majority of them, okay? We appraise as mass. That's the state law, a mass appraisal. We do large chunks of the county at once. When we get to a property, the ones we got to, we made a call on whether they were below average, average, above average, good, or excellent. That corresponded to a value. All the properties were then revalued. State law says that when a property is revalued, it is capped. So for instance, a property in 2021 was valued at $100,000. We revalue it to $200,000. The cap is $115,000. The max is 15% over 5 years. That is the max it can increase, the taxable increase in 5 years. State law also says on a year of reassessment, the millage is to be rolled back based on the property value increase. I have said for months, that reassessment, increase in property value, is not a tax increase. I'm going to say it again. Reassessment is not a tax increase. The South Carolina Department of Revenue came to Lawrence, South Carolina, met with some members of council. Mr. Arthur Lee was there. I'm sure some others were there. The auditor's office was in attendance. Administration was there. They talked about, finance was there. They talked about how millage should roll back in accordance with the value increase. The values increase, the millage goes down. That's the way it works. I've talked to Casey in finance. That's what she did. She rolled the millage back. It was not enough to pay for the expenses. So then council increased the millage. Reassessment did not raise anyone's taxes. Y'all did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right?
Yes, and I just told y'all that earlier. That's what happened.
If you're unhappy with your tax value, on the notice has instructions on how to appeal. Please send us a letter and say, my name is X. I own this property at this address or map number. It's on the notice. Say, I do not think this is the current value. I think the current value is, and tell me what you think the current value is. I'll give you an example of an appeal that we solved today. A fella in Cross Hill sent us a letter. I called. I said, I read what you said, what you got here. It's not making a lot of sense to me. Can you please elaborate? And he said, the topography here is terrible. I looked at a topo map. He was correct. We changed it, sent him a new notice. I do not get paid on commission. I am a spreadsheet nerd, and I want my spreadsheets to be correct. I do not care what the values are. I need them to be correct. If anyone needs to appeal, our mailing address is P.O. Box 727 in Lawrence. It's 29360. We will respond to everyone. I'll give you an example of what is not an appeal. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't believe in property taxes. You are an idiot. Those are not appeals, those are complaints. Anything else?
That's perfect. Thank you, sir.
I do.
So I'll just reiterate what I heard, and you tell me if I'm wrong. They started back in September of 2023, knowing that it was a huge, heavy lift they were going to have to do, and they visited every property that they could, and others they took aerial views or a reasonable assumption of an increase based on the quality of the house, whether it was poor quality, good quality, excellent quality, and they assigned that to it. There is a metric by which these numbers are arrived at. But if they're wrong, if your property is not assessed properly, there is an avenue by which you can appeal to have that evaluated. If you didn't think, well, you never came to my home and looked, because if you did, it would be much less. They'd be happy to get that taken care of for you. I'll caution this. This is a cautionary tale from me, and I don't know anything about assessment, but I do know this. You may think your property is worth $100,000, and they said it was $150,000. But when you get a reassessment from somebody that shows up at your property may be valued at $185,000. So is that fair?
That's fair.
So it's good to know ahead of time, kind of look around or ask your contemporaries, your neighbors, somebody, what the relative values are, because sometimes what we feel is a value may not exactly be what the market value is. But we want everybody to have that opportunity. If your thing seems wrong, there's an avenue by which you can appeal that to make sure it is. Help me understand who you're talking about. Give me an example.
Sir, can you come up to the microphone?
Thank you, GW. Are you on the list, sir? Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. He's a pitchfork guy.
Okay. They sent a tax assessor to assess all of our property, right? Okay, the people whose homes that did not go to, and they get a high tax on their property. Okay, why the people that have not been assessed, they still get that high tax bracket. They should not have to appeal. They should keep their own taxes till they're assessed instead of having to pay what y'all think they owe.
So
That's my question right there.
They were
Why?
assessed. They were all assessed. They weren't all done in person.
Well, I mean, like the gentleman had the buildings that burnt down. They should have knew that before they sent him them high taxes on those buildings.
So I would say that GW's office does not know every time your building burns down or a tree falls on it and it doesn't exist anymore. But wait, please.
let me finish.
Let me finish. If this happened before that happened, there's no mechanism to find that out. The mechanism is for you to be able to appeal that.
No, the mechanism should be if he don't have any buildings, he shouldn't have to pay taxes on them. Y'all should know that before they send him a tax bill.
So you're
That's
not
all
going to
I
listen to
have
anything I say?
there.
Okay, I got it. Please come up.
Okay, I'm all right, my name now. I think, well, did y'all understand, he was trying to say about the, if they didn't get their property, you're saying every single property in Lawrence County was assessed?
Yes, ma'am. Is that true?
By one person?
No, but their office.
How many people do you have in your office? Where's he at? 8. Huh? 8. So 8 people assessed all of Lawrence County and checked all those boxes. The good, the bad, the high quality, the low quality. So we're going on 8 people for all of Lawrence County.
Since September of 2023.
But my thing is, people's not happy with their property taxes. Let's just say that,
I 100%
okay?
get that.
I'm not going to argue because we are the constituents and we're not happy. We want property taxes eliminated. Put that, lawyer, we want property taxes
We need to
eliminated.
talk to the South Carolina State Legislature about that. The only way we can fund county operations is through property taxes.
working
Until the
on that,
legislature
too.
does something different,
We're
that's our
working on
only
it
option.
too. That's what we're working on. And
But
also, well,
I
I'm here.
specifically want you to be able to, everybody in here, hear me. I know you're mad. There is a mechanism, if it's wrong, to get it fixed.
It
It's
shouldn't
an
have been wrong to
imperfect
start with.
system,
We shouldn't have to go through this.
but that's what we do.
Okay.
We're statutorily required to go through that with the people that we have. That's why they got us such a huge head start to try and do it.
And I do appreciate everything y'all do. Y'all do a great job up here, and I ain't gonna lie about that. Y'all do a good job, and y'all vote whatever y'all feel, and I understand that. But the constituents want no data centers. Who wants data centers? Anybody raise your hand if you do not want a data center? So we have spoken.
Yeah, we don't have a data centers.
Or is there one in the plans?
I'm not aware of any data centers, any plans.
Nobody knows about any data centers for Lawrence County.
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's why we want to
Yep.
keep it.
Awesome.
y'all.
Thank you. Hey, seriously though, if you think you need to appeal it, please do. And there is a, when do they have to appeal by? September 8th. So after September 8th, they will not accept appeals. So that's an important date.
If they can come to call us and get if someone has a building fire, structure fire, and they still have it on the taxes, they can come to our office and get a fire report and then take it and get that removed. But that's the proof that the building's no longer.
Director Lindley of Lawrence County Fire says if you had a fire on a property or something that is not correct, they can get you a fire report to be able to take to prove that. So after, can you come up and talk to me? We'll get your address and we'll get that looked at. Okay, awesome.
I had one quick question back here, if that's all right.
Can you come up here? Yeah, because they're going to want to hear and I can't hear.
I'm Timothy Cockrell. I live in Mountville, South Carolina. I just had a follow-up question for Mr. Daly. So with the reassessment values, do y'all use comparable sales to determine value? And do y'all keep a record of those sales, of which ones you're using for each property?
Yes, sir. All right, so we appraise as mass appraisal. We do large chunks of the county at once. So in a typical appraisal, like someone would get at a bank or that type of thing, you would have 3 or 4 comps for each property. So in that aspect, we don't have 3 comps for each property because we did not value every parcel with that mechanism. We did mass appraisal, which means we take the entire county, we broke it up into 58 distinct areas. The lake was broken into 4 areas. So we took the entire county and broke it up into 58 areas. And then of those areas, they have a value per acre. And the value per acre for 100 acres is different for a value per acre for 1 acre. So I'm not sure if that answers your question.
It does.
But that's how mass appraisal is done. It's done in huge brushes.
I got you.
Not
That's
as
the
one at a time.
That's the
So
only reason
that's
I
why,
asked.
that's why when someone says, you know, you missed this. Well, yes, we missed it. We're doing a lot of parcels at once. We follow the state, mandated process. Since September 2023, we have visited over 20,000 houses. We did not see every one of them. It's impossible. Our taxes are already too high. My office would have to be 45 people, you know? So we used mass appraisal. That's why there are some that are likely incorrect. That is why we give a 90-day appeal period. We are flexible on how you appeal. So
if we were to provide comps that actually show that the property is not worth that, it would make a difference in us getting it reduced?
100%, 1,000%. I've told numerous people in the last week, a lot of realtors provide VPOs. Some people have an appraisal from the bank when they purchased the home. We would love to have that. Again, actual information makes everything better. Specific information like that would make everything better. I just want the spreadsheets to be right. I pay taxes here too. I live in Clinton. Clinton's millage went up 26 mills, right? So.
Is there a certain period of time that the actual appraisal needs to be within a window to be valid?
That's a very good question. Our effective date is December 31st of 2025. So we used the sales from 2024 and 2025 to really make this happen. So by law, the effective date of that information needs to be December 31st, 2025. In actual practice, that's impossible. So we allow that window of all of 24 and 2025. as a time period to gather the information.
Okay. Well, I hope that helps some people. So they can look up comps on Zillow, like, and see what recently sold new, and make sure it's actually comparable to what
And that's
you
what I wanted to be, you may think one thing and see something different, or we may have been in that mass. You may not be in that group. You may be lower. So we certainly want to get it right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Agree. We do want it right. We got to have it right going forward. If we start out incorrect, it's worse incorrect in the future. We want it to be correct.
Thank you, Jadobi. Ashley Riddle.
Hey, I'm Ashley Riddle. I didn't sign up to speak to taxes, but all these folks got my juices flowing, so I got to just say something about that. My wife and I started about 5 years ago becoming active in coming to all the meetings that we could. And in those 5 years, I've noticed that there have been a lot of FELOs granted. And for those of you that don't know what a FELO is, that means when industry comes into the county, there's been lots of new industry come into the county, and they don't pay property tax. Rooftops cannot pay all of, well, tell me where I'm wrong, Wes.
So,
What's a FELO? Educate me.
I'm a lay person, and he is that, but I can explain it to you.
Here's my question. Does industry pay property tax?
Yes.
They pay a fee in lieu of property taxes. South Carolina has the largest corporate tax rate in the nation. It's close to 10%. So what the state has said is to encourage large development to come into the state. If they will meet certain minimum investment requirements, they get a reduction in their taxes. They go from 10% to 6%. They pay taxes. They pay a fee in lieu of taxes. The fee is 6%. What they would do if they did not have that FELO is they would pay 10%, which is an enormously high tax rate. So to encourage corporations to make large developments in our state, the state legislature has come up with a process that will allow them to pay a 6% tax rate as opposed to a 10% tax rate. And we do that through a fee in lieu of taxation.
Okay. Well, thanks for the education. But I still have a point to make about rooftops. We've had thousands of new rooftops, and all those rooftops are paying property tax, and we're still struggling with the budget, so something's not adding up there. Well, we need them, and you guys are the ones to do it. Good point, good point. Wes, thank you for the education. I've still got a bone to pick with you, by the way. So, here's the reason I'm here. Of course, my name's Ashley Riddle, and my family has lived on the farm that we live on for we've lived there forever. We farmed since the 1960s, and in that community on Durbin Road for decades. I'm here tonight to ask for help regarding a matter that has caused significant concern for my family and confusion throughout our community. A developer, I believe the name is Crown Developers. Crown Developers has a proposed subdivision right across the road from our farm, a rural area, right next to Nancy Garrison. And their proposed name for this development is the Riddle Farm, or some variation thereof. And this is not just a name to us. The name has been associated with farming on our property since the 60s. My dad incorporated in 1969, and the name of the corporation is Riddle Farms, Inc. It's still on the books with the Secretary of State. My son has trademarked the name. It's protected by the Secretary of State. And we also have common law rights. Is that paper, did you hand the paper out, ma'am?
We have.
Okay, thank you. I did not have enough of the pictures. The picture that you see proves that that's a very old picture from the 70s, and it shows that we used that name, Riddle Farms, Inc. I also gave you a copy of a registered trademark for Riddle Farm, and we are directly across the street from this proposed subdivision who's proposed to use that name. Lawrence County, when the developer came in with the application, requested that name, and Lawrence County granted that name. So I question the process by which Lawrence County follows. There should have been a little more research into that, but I have a problem with that. As a result of the developer's decision, confusion is already occurring. Customers have come to my son's farm believing it's connected with the proposed development. Neighbors and members of the public have asked whether my wife and I are involved in the project, and we are not. In fact, we are very vocal about the concerns regarding excessive growth and development in this area. The use of our name in a large residential development creates a false impression that our family endorses and supports this project, and nothing could be further from the truth. Our reputation is at stake here. Over the past several months, I've attempted to resolve this matter respectfully. I've contacted the developer, asking that they choose another name. They declined. I reached out to the county attorney, there's my bone, Wes, and I was told that this matter would be discussed with the developer. I've not received any kind of follow-up or any satisfaction. I've also spoken to you, Mr. Carroll, about this problem, and I've forwarded you the name of the name of the developer via email. Haven't heard anything back. Now, I'm not here to threaten legal action. Litigation is expensive and divisive, and I'd much rather find a community resolution. However, my family believes strongly that our name, our history, and our reputation deserve protection. I'm asking the council to help facilitate a resolution. I'm asking that you encourage the developer to select a name that reflects their project without appropriating a family name that's been established in this community for generations. This issue is about fairness, respect for local history, and preventing confusion among the public. I believe Lawrence County should stand for the families who have invested their lives in this community and whose names and reputations have built this county for decades of hard work. Thank you for your time and your service and your consideration to my request.
Thank you. So I am going to defer in a second to the county attorney, but the process here by which the county would get involved, I don't think exists. And so that seems civil. It seems like some legal thing you would have between the developer. I don't think there's an onus on the county to do anything. I will defer, though, to my counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I have had discussions with Mr. Riddle about this. The only thing the county does when someone submits a subdivision name is check our records to make sure there's no subdivision in Lawrence County with that name. That's the extent of what we do. If there is a trademark infringement, that is a private cause of action between those two citizens. All we do in Lawrence County is to make sure there's no subdivision with that name currently. If there's no subdivision with that name currently, then we'll allow you to use it. If you infringe on someone else's trademark, then you do that at your own peril. That person can sue you for infringing on their trademark. But as far as the county's role, all we do is check to make sure that we don't have duplicate names of subdivisions. Same thing with the Secretary of State. If you file a business name with the Secretary of State, they're going to accept it. If it infringes on someone else's business name, then they're going to let you go duke that out in court between yourselves. So we have no role in that other than checking to make sure there's not two duplicate names. If there are two duplicate names, you don't get to use it. If there's a trademark infringement cause of action, that is a private cause of action between two citizens that the government is not involved in.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Absolutely, come on.
So I know that Lawrence County is not the Secretary of State. I understand that. But when they do research on a request for a name, either trademark or incorporation, they actually do research. My problem with Lawrence County is that you don't do research, other than there's a nice lady at the window who searches to see if there is a development that is used. It would not be hard to have additional software available to see if it's going to cause problems with good neighbors and in the community that have been here for generations and paid their taxes and supported this county. It seems that the process could be changed. I do think that Lawrence County has some culpability here because you approved the name. You didn't have to. So I'm simply asking for Lawrence County to ask the developer before I hire a lawyer and we go the litigation route.
I think that's probably, you should do what you think you need to do, because I'm not going to think that this government needs to be influencing any business entity in the county that hasn't broken any laws. If they have, though, it's something for you to take up, not for the county. And so I would encourage you to do exactly what you think you need to do. Do you have anything to add?
Mr. Chairman, I've spoke with the developer. I asked him to change the name. If there was a legal mechanism by which I could use to make him change that name, I would do it in a heartbeat. I just don't have that legal kit in my toolbox. There is no cause of action I can bring against that developer. I don't have that right. Mr. Riddle has that right, but I don't have that right. The county doesn't have that right, so we can't do it.
Here's the problem. This is David versus Goliath. They have millions of dollars, and I do not. So I'm going to spend $30,000 in court fighting a multi-million-dollar developer? That's what we're talking about here. You may not be legally bound to do anything, Mr. Carroll, and I get that. But I spoke to you in good faith. I spoke to Mr. West here in good faith, and you both said that you would ask the developer, you would talk to the developer.
They were asked, and they said no.
Maybe a little pressure, but okay. I'll sit down now. Thank you.
So why is an individual issue with a citizen that is civil that you think is going to cost $30,000 should be the responsibility of the taxpayers of Lawrence County to foot a legal bill for something that is not illegal? No, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Asked and answered. Jimmy Canfield. You'll get your opportunity to speak after this gentleman here.
My name is Jimmy Canfield. This is the first time I've been to a meeting like this. And I'd like to get some clarification. This county council, y'all supposed to uphold the fundings of the county money as far as the school districts, the fire service, EMS, and maintenance, correct?
Not the school, the school district has its own board.
Okay, but anyway, and y'all also get paid a salary from these people out here, correct?
Correct.
Okay, with that being said, I'm speaking for my dad now, he's passed away. 64 years, or 65 years, we have been complaining to Lawrence County about the condition of the roads in Waterloo, Cross Hill, Mountville, Ecom Beach. We got Greg Lindley right here has done an excellent job for the fire service. He's got some nice vehicles. But you know the roads are dangerous for those vehicles to travel on. There's a road in front of my house where I live at right now. If we have a fire and it's raining, he cannot respond. EMS cannot respond because the road, y'all have not maintained those roads in 65 years. So really, are there a deficit on any monies on maintenance? Because we've been paying those taxes for 65 years and nothing's been done about it. Next thing, y'all know y'all got a binding legal agreement when y'all come in here. I don't know if the attorneys are familiar with this verbiage. Reliance, agenda reliance. Are you familiar with that? Agendered reliance. That's a legal binding term. There have been county entities have been sued over that verbiage. for not fulfilling.
Can you spell that for me? What are we talking about?
Engender reliance, E-N-G-E-N-D-E-R-E-D, reliance, R-E-L-I-A-N-C-E.
Thank you.
If you look it up, we entrust y'all with our monies to do a diligent duty for our community. In my opinion, I'm gonna say my opinion, y'all have failed these people on some of their properties because we cannot have excess for the fire service or EMS to come down some of the roads that y'all go down, that they need to go down on. If y'all look at on the State Code of Regulations 8-908, IFC 503-2-1 states that a single road for a fire apparatus go down is a minimum of 20 feet. Reynolds Drive that runs down by side my house is barely 12 feet wide. Where's the money going for the road maintenance for the last 65 years? But on a good note, I will say this. I see where the Sheriff Department and PD is putting money in for cameras for Lawrence County. I commend y'all for that. As an emergency manager that goes out and rescue kids out of trafficking, those cameras are one of the best tools that is to be put up in your county. We only have minutes to respond when a child goes missing. Within an hour, whether y'all realize in the United States, there's 2,300 kids go missing every day. Whether it's abduction, marital dispute, trafficking, or sexual exploitation. The life expectancy of that child that gets kidnapped, it's a statute, they only have 1 hour to live, whether they beat, rape, murdered, and dumped within the first hour. I conclude with that. 60 Waterloo Drive on Reynolds Drive. Waterloo, South Carolina.
Waterloo Drive.
Sir?
Waterloo, 60 Waterloo Drive.
County. Waterloo.
Hey, sir, this is my perfect director back there. We're gonna make sure somebody get down there. I'm letting you know, I'm giving you right now. If somebody gonna come down there from the county to look at that highway for you.
What's the name of the road?
Reynolds Drive.
All right. I
Then
can't.
Coolwater Road that runs down in front of it, there's 2 houses down. If it's raining, if a fire breaks out, fire can't get down, EMS can't get down on it.
Is this your paper?
Yes, sir.
Please write your name and address on there and phone number, and I'll give you a call in the morning. We've got over 400 miles of roads. Some of them are private. Some of them are private unpaved. Some of them are private gravelled. Some of them are state. Some of them are city. So
I'm glad you mentioned that because these roads used to not be private. Y'all decided y'all did not want to service these roads because y'all are saying y'all didn't have the monies to do it, but yet for 65 years, my dad and other people have been paying taxes for these roads that y'all dropped and turned over to the people. And these properties.
we would have had to have dropped, we'd had to have them to drop them, so we couldn't have dropped them.
Okay.
So they're gonna.
911.
Hold on.
Okay, I will.
Give me your thing.
I will.
and I'll call you.
911. Okay, 911. Y'all come up with 911. Y'all went out and y'all put road signs up on these roads, renamed the roads back in 2000 somewhere. Isn't that right? Is that correct?
I'm accepting the information. I
Okay.
can't validate that.
So that's telling me y'all adopted and y'all took these roads under your wing.
No, that's false.
Wait, what did
It's
you
a
name
private
them?
road.
Before
The
it's part of
county
911?
doesn't do takings of roads if they're not up to a certain spec, and it'll be a legal taking of over the road. We will look at your road and tell you exactly what the status is. But here tonight, I can't solve your problem, and hollering and carrying on is not going to fix it. We will get in contact with you and see what your situation is.
Okay, but like I said, my question is, for 65 years, y'all done nothing on these roads.
I'm not even 65 years old, so let me just preface this with, we will look at your problem and we will let you know what we can do, if anything, as a county. Is that fair?
Bingo, yes, sir, that's
Okay.
totally fair. I totally agree with that. But
I would definitely come out there with Mr. Wilson and his department and make sure that we do for you. I'm talking about all of them to my right. I'm talking about me. I will be there with you, sir. I'm 65 years old, but I tell you right now, sir, but I'll let you know up front that it like this. I'm not even good on buses, and I don't want to be good on buses. I tell you like it is, I taught it like a see. I'm like the hands from 6 o'clock, I'm straight up and down. Like this, sir, if we can do something for you to help you with your situation, I will make sure that we can make that happen for you, sir. Or I will pass you on to the DOT department that can help you with your situation. And I understand, all these new housing development coming in here, and all this other stuff, until we get rooftop or impact-free started, the taxpayer out here, myself, everybody up here pay taxes. We're gonna take a burden off of people.
exactly, any development or industries that comes into the county, it should not be the burden of the taxpayers that's already existed here.
All before my time. I just been here 2 years. All them up here before my time signed that piece of paper. And they like this, when they knew them new house development were coming in here, they didn't look at no impact free.
And that,
They worry about no rooftop. They worry about the fire department, water, city, sewer.
that's where I was just going to go in. They didn't look at the impact. They didn't have a contingency plan in place, a 2, 3, 5-year plan, what that is going to impact, is going to do on our power grid, on our water system, on our waste treatment plants, on our landfills.
So I think you and Mr. Phillipson can get each other's numbers, and y'all can talk about this the rest of the night, but I appreciate it. Nancy Garrison. Yeah.
So y'all know I've been coming 4.5 years too, right? So, I just want to speak briefly about the effects of that nearly every citizen of Lawrence County is seeing, and that's growth. Growth is one of the most significant issues facing our county today. We see it in the number of subdivisions being proposed, the increasing traffic on the roads, the demands placed on emergency services, and the concerns many residents have regarding taxes and the reassessment. Most people understand that growth can bring jobs, investment, and an opportunity. The challenge is making sure growth is properly planned for and that the county government is prepared to manage the impacts that will come with it. Of course, like I said, we're seeing increased demands on the roads, bridges, EMS, fire protection, law enforcement, and county services. Yet at the same time, questions continue to arise regarding the county's planning process and the resources devoted to the planning of the future growth. Good planning is not anti-growth. Good planning is always allows growth to occur responsibly while protecting taxpayers, property owners, infrastructure, and quality of life. Moving forward, I believe Lawrence County should continue focusing on transparency, accountability, and long-term planning. Citizens deserve confidence that growth is being managed proactively rather than reactively, and the decisions being made today will serve the county well for years to come. The concerns being expressed tonight are not simply about reassessment notices, taxes, or training, and the training that occurs with all of that. They reflect a broader concern about whether county government is adequately preparing for the growth that is already occurring and whether or not growth is paying its fair share of the cost it creates. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garrison. Angel Bible.
I want to say thank you for your time and your dedication to helping improve our local community of Lawrence. My name's Angel Bible, and I'm the Director of Programs for South Carolina Empowerment Center, and I'm a lifelong resident of Lawrence, South Carolina. And I simply wanted to take the opportunity to request for South Carolina Empowerment Center to be placed on the agenda for the next County Council meeting on Monday, June the 13th, in order to be able to be voted as a designated authorized primary Lawrence County applicant in order to submit our funding request to the SCARF opioid settlement funding. We have completed all our appropriate paperwork, and we simply need the authorizations to be able to submit it so that we can make this occur in July in order to implement the enhanced programs that we are needing to offer in the upcoming school year to the young people of Lawrence, South Carolina.
Awesome. Can you give your information to Mr. Threet so we can? Awesome. Thank you.
What you saying, ma'am? Let me get this right, because you know I got you when I'm here. I got to talk when you're here. I don't let people get away. You want to be added
To the agenda.
our general funds to process your center. What you saying?
So for this, I'm asking to be put on the agenda.
On the agenda,
For the
okay.
county
I said,
council
okay.
meeting in order for a vote to take place. So I've filled all the appropriate paperwork out for this funding.
I'm
I
with
just
you.
need the
Listen,
authorization.
I can't even get on the agenda. So guess what? You got to see that fella right there.
Right. I tried to get on the agenda,
That's true
and I'm
statement.
assuming this is the process to get
I
it
understand
done.
what you're saying, ma'am. Appreciate you. I hope y'all see you on the agenda, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy Canfield, you want to speak to SCORF as well? Sir? You're written down again for SCORF. You're good on SCORF? Okay. That's what she was speaking to. Joseph Kohler.
Thank you, members of County Council. My comments are based on a recent Planning Commission meeting that I attended. I'm here tonight because I have serious concerns regarding compliance with the mandatory Planning Commission training requirements established by South Carolina law. I recently sent a Freedom of Information Act seeking records demonstrating compliance with SC Code 6-29-1340. The request sought certificates of completion, attendance records, tracking logs, and compliance reports for Planning Commission members over the past 3 years. The response from the County Attorney's Office was clear. Lawrence County stated it does not possess or maintain any records for the information requested. That response should concern every citizen in this county. The Planning Commission is not an advisory group discussing minor matters. Its members make recommendations and decisions that affect property rights, subdivision approvals, road access, public safety, infrastructure demands, and the future growth of Lawrence County. Yet when I requested records showing compliance with the training established by South Carolina law, the county's official response was that no such records are possessed or maintained. If all Planning Commission members have completed the required training, then the county should be able to demonstrate that compliance. If the county cannot demonstrate compliance, then citizens are left to wonder whether the requirements are even being taken seriously. This is not a paperwork issue, it's an accountability issue. The public should not be expected to simply trust that statutory requirements are being met. Public confidence depends on transparency, documentation, and verification. Therefore, I ask the County Council to explain how compliance with South Carolina Code 629-1340 is verified, whether all Planning Commission members have completed the training required by state law, why no records demonstrating compliance were available in response to a FOIA request, and what corrective action will be taken if compliance cannot be demonstrated. Citizens deserve confidence that those entrusted with making decisions affecting their homes, property, and communities have met the qualifications required by the law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
I just had somebody complete that class in District 6. I wanted to put that down for the record. All the costs of the new county administrator, he made my cousin go get certified before I can put her on the boat. Thank you.
Anybody who did not sign up that would like to come speak?
All right, two issues. My name's Lee Cunningham. In 2024, I was reassessed after my grandmother died, and we took her off the house, GW. Reassessed my property value and doubled it. And I appealed it 3 different times with no satisfaction. So now I get the new assessment, and it has doubled again. That was 2024 when it doubled. So that was already in your time frame of stuff that was starting to work on. So how does that work? And 2, with these subdivisions, can we not do a structured tax fee for people moving in out of Lawrence County that have not lived here and paid their fair share all their lives? That is a bigger percentage than what normal residents pay that drops off as the years go by. He also told me that they paid impact fees because I was fussing about the schools and stuff like that then. But obviously, we still don't have impact fees. So that's all I had to say.
Despite what was said, we've started an impact fee analysis. This was October of last year. We're required to get that study done. As soon as they get back, nothing would make me happier than to discuss impact fees. So I don't want the narrative to be created wrong.
2024 by him on a phone conversation that we had him then. But what about the structured tax to tax the outside residents at a little higher
I don't
rate?
think it's legal to change the way you tax individuals based on whether they're an out-of-county resident and they come in or not. I don't even think there's a legal mechanism for that.
That would violate the Equal Protection Clause of the United States Constitution.
Okay, could we do? Sooner or later, insurance is going to go. If your property value goes up, guess what? Insurance is already after for everything they can get. Right. So you're getting a double dose of it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Kay Rowland, and I'm from Waterloo, South Carolina. And first of all, thank you for everything you do. I think we can all agree that we live in a beautiful county and that we love Lawrence County, which is why we're here. And someone has mentioned the data center. It's a small community. Word on the street is we're being considered for a data center. You all said we are not. I am requesting that you all also attest that there are not any NDAs out there that also restrict you from speaking about this. Can you all say that you all have not signed any NDAs?
I have not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. Because these corporations are known for trying to circumvent the democratic process.
So before you move on, I know everybody is very aware of data centers all around us. Do you have legitimate information about a data center that has spoken with somebody in the county?
It's rumored. How's that? But we also know that Newberry, so the reason I'm asking for us to consider it, Newberry has turned down and has a moratorium on data centers. Greenwood has a moratorium on data centers. We are just surrounded by these two things. Yeah, exactly. But we as citizens and y'all can also create a moratorium to protect us because this industry has so much money behind it. They are growing at astronomical fees. They do not care about Lawrence County. They do not care about your children's health. They do not care if your wife gets breast cancer in 30 years. They will be home and gone and already collecting all the money they have. The other thing is what we risk are our water depletions. You know, we need studies to know what our aquifers can support. These industries use enormous amounts of water. And then you have your evaporative cooling and your water contained cooling. It's not water neutral. And when all that's done, there are still chemicals that have to be dumped somewhere. We have to have a plan of where this water goes once they're done using it, because they don't keep cooling just with the same water. They do conserve some, but those chemicals, those minerals go into our systems, into our waterways, into our water. Air quality, again, breathing particulates is dangerous to our children with asthma and things like that. Cancer rates, they've shown other industries where these particulates are in the air and cancer rates are higher. They like rural communities, they like poorer communities because they know that we won't fight. And we need to have a moratorium or at least a set where we're investigating before we're being asked to build these data centers. Noise is another concern. If you're within a mile, and this is, by the way, the crow flies, not the distance, that you will be hearing a constant hum. Some people are reporting in other communities that their well no longer works, that they turn on their spigot and they have a trickle, and what water they do get, it is filled with sediment, undrinkable. You would not cook with it. You would not want to shower with it. And these are all impacts. The other impact is the infrastructure. So when they do come in, the electrical companies want to support it. They like selling electricity. What they do is they build these infrastructures for these data centers, and then the cost gets put on to the citizens who pay for it. And that's another cost to the citizens. So what I'm begging and requesting is that we have some moratorium, that we start looking at that we start studying, because we're going to be asked. We know we're going to be asked for about a data center. We should be prepared and already have an idea of what we're willing to accept, what we're willing to give. We should not be giving tax rebates to these gentlemen. This is an incredibly rich industry. They are all racing to get to the end. And for us to fund, for them to rape our land, make our children sicker, take our water, pollute our air, this all needs to be considered sooner than later. But thank you for hearing me out.
I'm putting it on the table right now. And I would like a moratorium, what we need to do to put it on hold. Because guess what? Like you said, I knew it gonna come down the line a long time, because Lawrence County don't have no zoning. So we gonna be the step child.
Yeah, we will.
I understand what you're saying. And like you said, the water people want it, the elected people want it, because they're gonna make millions of dollars off of it.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
the taxpayers in Lawrence County wasn't gonna suffer at the end.
And one of the worst parts is once the construction's done, in the beginning, the construction brings a lot of money to the community. But once that construction is done, we're talking a couple dozen jobs that they actually supply because they are so effective in what they do. And we're talking not all these jobs are going to be local. It's going to be your janitors, your office staff are going to be local. The really bright guys are going to be God knows where, because they don't have to be local.
And I will say they outsource those jobs. You know, H-1B visas, they can pay them less than an American.
Okay.
And, you know, that's often what happens. They tout the job count, and then in reality, those jobs are outsourced from out of state.
But we never even had a chance.
Yeah. And I will say, for the sake of discussion, I'd like the idea of the moratorium, but all it does is delay the inevitable, right? A 12-month moratorium would just, 12 months pass, and then what? Then they can come. I would like for us to, this is just for the sake of discussion, and we're going to have meetings in the future, but I would really like for us to explore the possibility of just banning them outright.
I would love that. Yes.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I like to ban them all, but guess what? We need to get rid of these other three out of here before we do it. I'm being honest. I'm just being real. When them other three leave, we need to be working on it right now.
God help us all.
Thank you
Yeah,
again
thank you.
for hearing me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Come on up.
See if I can understand a few things. My name's Chris Graham. And first off, you can tell I'm a little bit nervous. We voted for y'all. Somewhere, somehow, some means. Our representative isn't even here. That's lovely. But from what I'm understanding with this gentleman, is he assessed our value to our homes. You requested the millage drop. Y'all raised it.
Yes.
All right? You failed the citizens. Just hold on. And that's another thing. You working for us, condescending arrogance doesn't fly.
I don't take abuse.
No, it's
Sorry.
my time.
I'm
My
not going to
time.
be abused,
No.
so I'm not going to apologize for that.
Shaking your head and looking at your computer and doing whatever, we don't appreciate it. But this is the deal. You've come up here, you've raised the millage. All right? We have all these subdivisions coming in. Millions spent on this courthouse. This gentleman doesn't have ambulances in the lower part of the county. Joanna as well. All right? So, you got all these subdivisions coming in. All these houses, all these families. What are we going to do when the 4K through 12th grade population grows? How much is the millage going up so y'all can, oh, we got to build schools? What's going to happen then? When are y'all going to stop squeezing us? It's easy to spend somebody else's money. See, there you go again.
I live in this county. I pay taxes too. You act like I'm tax exempt or something.
I'm not claiming that you don't pay taxes, sir. Nowhere have I
So
commented that
you
you're not
want an
paying taxes.
ambulance in all these different places. Do you think that's free?
How much
No.
money?
So now we have to raise millage. You won't let me.
Why you won't let me speak? This is my time. The amount of money that's spent on this courthouse, he could have had 2 ambulances. They could have had an ambulance in Joanna. I'm not saying stuff doesn't need to be done, but the amount of money to remodel something costs way more than it does to tear something down and build it back, and you could have made the exact same looking building.
I can't speak to that.
I'm not saying it's a definite. But y'all just keep squeezing. At some point, we got to stop. Everybody got their 3% cost of living. What about us that work for ourselves that we didn't? What subdivisions are getting paved roads paid for by me? I've lived on the same road for 20-something years. Not once has it been repaved. I'm not raising Cain about that. But how is it my responsibility to pay for another neighborhood?
You want me to respond?
Sure, you can respond, but I know it's going to be something that I don't care to hear. The majority of these people out here
Correct,
don't want to
because
either.
when the subdivision is built, they build the roads themselves. The developers do. County doesn't build their roads. We take them over if they're up to our standards, but we don't build their roads.
So sooner or later, they are your roads after you take them over, then you maintain.
Correct.
What about the traffic impact on the vehicles leaving that community that's on the roads that we already paid taxes on, that is not getting serviced?
So I definitely want to figure out his issue with the road.
And I'm sure we're going to get there tomorrow.
But I'll tell you like this, I'm learning this stuff out. That's why I say we need to start that CST. Again, the penny sale tax. When we start that penny sale tax, and everybody come up with their list, I think we had 16 on the last one. That was before my time, sir. Everything is before my time. But I'm saying now, we need to start the new CSP now, be so like where y'all live, that we can put on there the county, if they maintain one, we can give it paid. If you put, the people got to vote for it, but that got to be a part of that, you know, how many projects they gonna come up with. But it like this, I understand what you're saying. And it like this, that I'm with y'all, and I'm with you. He work in Spartanburg County. He just live in Lawrence County. So guess what? He eating food in Spartanburg County. I tell you I call it like I see it. All he do is show up here once a month. So he he not running no more, so he don't care. So it like this, he might pay it now because he realized he's 5 years old with the new taxes thing. I call it like I see it. But it like this. It like this, sir. We need to start that CSP and impact free so it can take the load off of everybody. Off of everybody. Because right now, everybody is suffering.
Oh, yeah. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but wouldn't another capital project sales tax raise the tax on the citizens?
You always gonna say something. You ain't gonna be the next chairman.
Don't care.
Oh, it's so sad. Come on, Nick.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Well, most of y'all probably know who I am, but for the rest of everybody, I'm Nick Babb. I'm from Great Court, and there's been a lot of anger and a lot of commenting when it comes to this. But while I was listening to these people and listening to y'all kind of take the brunt of the crowd, and I understand their anger. I really did, and I understand their anger, but I also feel very sorry for every one of y'all, because some of y'all on here I do consider friends. I really do. I feel like that y'all have been burdened by failed policies of previous councils who gave up their right to question stuff and give their power to one man who coincidentally is not here tonight. And I just want to say this. We have been left in a county that has had our taxes go up. We are currently in deficit because of the failed policies of that man that is not even here tonight. And then it's also other previous members of county council. Like, for example, Justin Lang. The reason why he's on county council is because while Joannis is struggling to get EMS services, his predecessor was obsessed with building a hiking trail with our taxpayer dollars. Matthew Brownlee, his predecessor, he was obsessed, thinking that he was God's gift to Lawrence County and decided, I'm gonna run for State House. Well, I'm happy to report to you, he's probably getting a application for Chick-fil-A at this moment. And Jeff, I voted for you, and I consider you a friend. The reason why that I voted for you is because your predecessor didn't even bother to show up. Kind of like your predecessor as chairman, didn't even bother to show up tonight. And it's sad and gutless, and I consider him a friend too. But I will say, it is sad and gutless that he's not here because his failed leadership is the reason why we are here tonight. And one more thing. How many people here live in District 4? Well, I gotta say, if y'all haven't voted, y'all have to vote tomorrow. And you have the opportunity to change the course of the direction of this county. And you have two very distinct candidates on the ballot, and you have two options. You can either vote for someone who will continue the same failed policies of the past, or you can vote for someone who is going to bring actual change to this county council. So make sure y'all get out and vote, because the fate of this county is in your hands.
My name is Frank Sprouse. Appreciate your time. First time I've ever been here. My biggest thing is I got a 20-year-old son that I had to explain to, no matter how hard you work and pay for your stuff, if you fail to pay taxes on it, somebody don't even have no input in it can buy it. And to him, I stood before Luke Rankin, who came to my house, and I said, explain to this guy why it's even worth getting up and going to work. You're gonna get taxed when you earn it, taxed when you spend it, taxed when you buy something with it, taxed when you go get groceries, taxed on the car, taxed on the food. Pretty much all you're doing is working for taxes. That's the whole reason why we left England. So the biggest thing I'm asking is, I guess the comment he made down there in Columbia, every one of these candidates come through, oh, we're gonna do away with property tax. Why can't we increase sales tax at all these HOAs, housing developments, housing authority? People pay the same price that we do and bring our property taxes down. I'm game for a big sales tax as long as my son don't have to pay taxes on $150,000 worth of 10 acres because it was assessed at $15,000 an acre when I didn't pay nowhere near that. I know we got a budget, mate, and I know we got to make ends meet through the county, but at the same time, make everybody pay it. The ones that's living off the system, the ones that work cash under the table, and of course, all these people moving into the county, let them pay it too, not just the people that's been here for 3 and 4 generations. That's wraps it up. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison. I'll be the first to admit I'm a new resident. We've lived here in Lawrence County for a couple years now, and since 23. We bought an old property and been cleaning it up. It was a mess, but we're happy to do so because we believe in this place here. It's a lovely, lovely community, and we have a very strong identity in Green Pond Road. One of the things that brought us here was family, but also the sensible use of finances and the way that the government uses the residents' money. It's a conservative place. We believed in that. Before moving here, I heard about Greer and how they handled their growth. They were brand new. They had just started their downtown. Their downtown was sparkling new, very beautiful. Come to Greer, come to Greer. We didn't go to Greer. We weren't interested in going to the Greer in the end, but we liked their messaging, that it had no burden on the native residents. They had done it through impact fees. I didn't know that word until Mr. Filson mentioned it tonight, but the new residents paid for the infrastructure of downtown Greer, not the native residents. Now, we've received a reassessment in the mail, and we've seen a budget increase of nearly 30%. Is that right? 30% or something? Okay, so it's a rumor. There's some rumors flying around on social media, and that's why I'm here tonight, to set the record straight. Because I believe in going straight to the source. But the impact fees make a lot of sense to me. It does not make sense to put a burden on these wonderful people who have wonderful farms. You know, we don't have a grocery store on our side of Lawrence in Gray Court, and I'm happy about that. I like to visit the farm stands. I like to go to the local family farms for our meat. We eat local meat, we eat local eggs, we eat food out of our garden, and it is the right way to live by my standard, for my family. That is what I want for my family. And I see a lot of growth in Greenville. I was sparkly-eyed when we moved here. I thought Greenville was the hot stuff. But I moved to Lawrence, and I'm happy I did. At this point, that boundary is a halo of sorts. It protects what I hold dear. This is a wonderful place, full of wonderful people. And if seen with the wrong eyes and the wrong heart, it can fall into something that is unrecognizable. I believe in this place, and I believe in these people, and honestly, I believe in y'all. I think y'all have a lot of integrity, and I think that you just have a hard job ahead of you. But I think you have some tools. Look around. Look at the other communities that have been successful. Look at Greer. They made people that were there for growth pay for the growth. The new people that came in, the developers, paid for it. And that's what I want for Lawrence County. That's what I want for my home. Green Pond Road is a paradise. You drive down Green Pond Road, and it is special. You see those 100-acre farms, and it's not, you know, you think about what's going to be in 5 to 10 years, and you kind of shudder. And right now, it's paradise. It is heaven on earth. You can see God in the land. You can hear it when you're sitting out in your land. You don't hear buzzing of a data center. I hear gunshots sometimes, but I got to get used to that. Anyway, the schools. Greenville County had programs that would give my son a future. And we came here, and I'm committed to homeschooling at this point. You know, I don't know if I trust the schools. The schools are 23-to-1 in ratio right now. And the people that I trust and respect that have been here for decades, been grown here, and their families have always been here, don't trust the schools either. They just pulled their son out. And it's not because of the teachers, it's because of the kids. They don't have the oversight that they need. The 23-to-1 ratio does not work. And I don't have a solution for that. I really don't. But, you know, I've heard great things about the Montessori program. I know that that is a really great program, but I still just, I'm going to have more control at home and find a way to do it. Now, I have been kind of scratching my head whether I should mention this, and I probably won't. It's just a social media rumor, but if you want to set the record straight, maybe some people here, probably all of them, have been listening to it, so I might just come out and say it. It's being said on the street that Lawrence County was scammed out of a lot of money, a sizable amount of money, by some company, I don't know. Whether that's legitimate, I don't know. But if you have been scammed out of a sizable amount of money and you need to raise taxes to meet that budget demand, maybe taking it away from the people and making us pay for it may not be the right route. It may not be the right way to do it. The moral way to do it. You know, I think these impact fees make a lot of sense. Growth should pay for growth.
Hold up, ma'am. Hold up.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let the county administrator, I'm going to let the lawyer to answer that for you. We need to set this while we are here, just for you to correct you what you just, like you said, about the missing funds. Can y'all tell her about the situation and what's going on while these taxpayers are here?
Oh, okay. I guess we want to talk about the wire fraud. Is that what you're asking me to speak on, the wire fraud, the missing funds?
Yes, sir.
First of all, there's active litigation going on regarding this matter, so I'm limited in what I can say. But what I can say is that no taxpayer in Lawrence County is going to pay a dime for that missing money. That money, a large portion of it has been recovered. Certain portions of it are still being recovered, and there's insurance coverage to replace anything that is not recovered by our law firms in Palm Beach that are working on this. Taxpayers are not going to pay a dime for any money that the county misappropriated because we were taken advantage of by an online scammer. That will be covered by our insurance and by the recovery of the funds from our banks.
I just want to get that correct for you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for the rest of our listening ears,
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Come back up, come back up. I don't look at no watch. They look at watches.
So guys, all these people have taught y'all. What action is going to be taken?
Can I tell you what I'm gonna do, ma'am?
Yep.
I'm just one.
Okay. Is anybody going to do any actions?
All
Anybody
I can
plan
tell
any
you, that
action?
it like this. Mr. G. Deborah office, he told y'all how to do everything. Follow his rules and regulations. If you got a complaint, when you get the bill that you, assessment you got, it's not a bill. It's not a bill, y'all. It's just assessment.
Yeah.
When your bill come out, the way they taught me, when your bill come out, if you have a complaint, you have 90 days to do, is I'm saying that right?
That's not accurate.
School me again then.
That's not my question, though.
So I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay. I was just
received-
wondering if y'all was going to, y'all heard all these people and their complaints and their unhappiness. What are y'all going to do to make that better?
So everything that I wrote down that was brought up that we can address or comment to, or there's certain things that we can't just say right now because we might be speaking out of school and promising things we can't deliver. I'm not doing that. But we're going to follow up on all those things as it relates to the reassessment. You have a reassessment notice. And if you disagree with it, there is an appeals process. It has to occur before September 8. If it does not, when the tax bill comes out, it's too late. So if you're
Well, I
impacted.
get Homestead Act, so I'm not even worried about it.
Okay, but somebody that might be
don't, my husband
impacted
does.
about that
Not quite there.
needs to, before September 8th, if they want to have a reassessment or an appeal of that, needs to be completed.
Okay, I just want to know if I'm understanding this correctly. I talked to Mr. Daly, or he spoke and said that he had 8 employees that assessed everyone's property in Lawrence County.
So what he said, and I'm not going to speak for him if he needs to correct me, but they did mass assessments of
Well, I
properties.
think he told me he did every door. Didn't you tell me you did every address? No?
There were 58 areas that were created in the county, areas that were assessed based on geography
I
or
heard it.
things
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
But not every property had a door knocker or front
Okay,
door.
so how many homes is in a mass? I'm just curious how many they actually did. How many homes did you actually assess, or, I was checking the box.
All right, so you're asking me how many homes I did, and I hear that as homes that,
Did you assess?
every home in Lawrence County,
Did you go look at?
over 20,000. I don't have the exact number memorized. I don't have that exact number memorized.
Anybody know how many people's in Lawrence County?
What was the question? We have 72 or 73,000 people.
Okay, 73,000, and you did 20.
No, that's 73,000 humans, not residences. They would go off the tax map numbers that are on the GIS.
1,000 residents.
Correct.
How many residents do we have in Lawrence County?
If you call my office tomorrow, I'll give you the exact number. I don't have it memorized.
I think 20% is how much percentage of Lawrence County did you actually go look at?
We saw in person well over 90% of the county.
90% in person.
Correct. We started in September of 2023.
I went back a couple years. Okay. Well, that was my question. I just want to know how 8 people decided the whole county's taxes. Yeah, yeah.
We did not decide the county's taxes. Y'all did.
Okay. I have another question. All this infrastructure coming in, all these housing developments coming in is actually raising our taxes. Why can't the ones that's lived in Lawrence County all our lives, why can't we be grandfathered into a tax instead of paying every 5 years what they think the land is worth? Because I bought a house for $150,000. He appraised it for $200,000. Okay. You go to sell that house, you're not going to get $100,000 for it, but you're getting taxed for it. I mean, why can't we be grandfathered in? That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly. This is my first time coming to a meeting, but I've lived in Lawrence County for the last 10 years. My daughter was born here. She goes to Gray Court Owens School. I know a lot of infrastructure is being addressed, it's being questioned. There's developments coming, but I strongly ask and beg you to look at the impact of where these developments are going. Where are they being put? What's around them, what the streets are like, all of that. There's a brand new neighborhood being built right behind my daughter's school. The only thing that's been done for infrastructure as far as the roads, they put in a turn lane on 14 to go into one entry of the neighborhood. The roads around Gray Court, they're barely wide enough for two cars to pass. Most of the streets, you're almost off the road trying to pass somebody coming the other way. And that's the whole area for the most part. So when you're looking at these things, are you considering traffic patterns? Are you considering wear and tear on the roads? Because we still got to drive on them, you know, but like other people have said, there's a delay, a massive delay in these repairs getting done on county maintained roads. So please, look at the impact of where these developments are coming, whether it's business, whether it's a residence, new neighborhood, whatever it is. Please strongly consider the impact on the people who live there, because during school drop-off and let-out, I mean, that's at the same time, school drop-off is at the same time as rush hour. So you got people going to work on 14, you got people trying to drop their kids off at school safely, and I mean, trying to get out of there is a nightmare already, and half the neighborhood's not even built. Now, the other entrance is off of a road that leads to the town dump, and when school pickup is happening and there's a line of cars, you can barely get by. So you've got to think about these things very carefully, please.
I wasn't going to speak again, but I hear a lot of people tonight asking the council, the commission here to look at the roads and all that. I just want to let the community know I just went against the subdivision being built in my neighborhood. And these fine folks here are not the ones that check those boxes. That's done at the planning commission level. And there's a TRC, which is a technical review committee, which it starts at, then goes to the planning commission. And those are the folks that are checking the boxes, doing the studies of impact. And those are the ones I spoke about earlier who have not done their education per South Carolina law. And that's why we should all be concerned about this. Because the people that are making those decisions for us, I saw egregious things happen at the last planning commission. Things that I cannot, I'll be straight. I sent the South Carolina Ethics Commission 2 complaints based on that meeting as well, because it was horrible what I saw. Had they had education, would it have changed the outcome? I don't know. But I'm checking my boxes now and doing what I can as a concerned citizen for this county, because decisions are being made for all of us that are not in our best interest. And these fine folks, they're not the ones doing it. It's at the Planning Commission. And interestingly, as Mr. Filson said, his commissioner went and got education. The Planning Commission meeting this month happened to be canceled. I wonder if it's because I put in 2 FOIA requests recently. I don't know. But nonetheless, and I did hear that the county administrator has them all getting their education now. But what about all the decisions that have been made already over the last couple of years? And these guys wanted so hard to put that development through, but an ordinance stopped them. And man, and they still use the word approved with a condition. The Planning Commission overrode the county attorney. The Road and Bridges Department sat there and said it's unsafe, and we denied it twice. And the Planning Commission said approved with the condition of another access. The word approved should not have even been on that decision. That's egregious. So get at the Planning Commission, and that's who we need to get right here, because they're not working on our best interest.
Thank you. All right. County Council comments. Mr. Lane, you got anything else?
Well, to your point, brother, who just come up here, I didn't get your name earlier. When you were talking, I didn't get your name. Joseph. All right, Joseph. Yeah, and I agree with you. And, you know, for your sake of knowledge, as you probably know, but everyone else in the room, before it goes to the Planning Commission, it goes through the Technical Review Committee, which you brought up earlier. I do think we could benefit from reevaluating that process and looking at what we could change with that, because some of us up here are familiar that, you know, they have caused some problems with us in the past with granting preliminary approval. And, you know, you were mentioning the use of that word. So I think we could benefit from reevaluating that process. But yeah, aside from that, to close out, as always, you know, you guys can call me, text me. I'm kind of bad at responding on Facebook Messenger, but that works too. But yeah, if you don't have my number or anything, please go to the website and find it on there, or you can just come and grab me afterwards and get my contact from me. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all being involved and engaged as much as this. Please keep it up. Thank you.
Clark?
Really have anything, but I do want to know, I have sat here and listened to each one of you. Each one of you. I'm a very good listener, and I heard you real loud and clear. Loud and clear. You have made your message loud and clear. I hear you. And the young lady back here with the green on, you asked the question, what are we going to do? It's time for us to go to work, seriously go to work, and help our citizens, because we are part of the citizen too. And we pay taxes just like you all do. And it's time for us to go to work. We got to get serious about the business. We got to get serious, because it's hurting everybody. Not only you, it's hurting me too. I'm a single woman. And these taxes kicking me in the rear as well. So my thing is, we hear you, but it's gonna take more of you coming out, telling us more, because I don't live in your district. So I'm in District 3. So you coming out, making your voice heard, that was gonna make me work harder and check more out. That's what's gonna make me work harder. I didn't say anything, but I heard you. And my heart goes out, and I promise you, I'm on the case as well with you. I don't sit here just to sit here. I want to do something, to change something. That's what my purpose on serving is, to make a change for Lawrence County, for the betterment of Lawrence County. I hear you, sir, about the roads. I got roads in District 3. I have got with Mr. Wilson myself, rode the roads. I didn't ride in my car, I rode in the county car. And they are bad. They are bad. And my thing is, if we spending money, we need to get this road fixed. Because if not, we're gonna spend money on ambulance, fire trucks, and that's more money. So my thing is help the people with the fix of these roads instead of spending the money on the vehicles. So my promise is to get busy, to try to culminate some of the stuff that's going on in Lawrence. And these taxes, yeah, they hit us. They has hit us, but he have done his job too. Every 5 years, it's coming. So we already know that. They started in 23, so here it is. So this is the thing, we got work to do. We all got work to do. We heard each other. We listened to each other. So this is the thing. Now, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't just come to this meeting. We got to come to more meetings. Sometimes I need a reminder, and I thank you for the reminder. I thank you for the reminder. I do. So my thing is, we got to get busy, Lawrence County. Thank you.
Ms. Clark.
Ma'am, I agree with you 100% because I'm like that too. I'm a seer. If you show me, then I'm thinking, okay, you must be doing something. You got to be working. You got to be busy. But if you don't see nothing change, then the question do come up. What are you doing with the funds? What are you doing with it? So I agree with you 100%. You want to see something. You want to see road paved. You want to see something. You want to, you know, and I understand it because I'm that visual person too. I got to see it. Not to see it just to believe it, to see it that it's happening, that we are doing something. So I agree with you that you need to see it. Lawrence County, we need to see it. Because most of you don't work here, retire here, and you're still working here. You have farms, you have family here. So it's time for us to get busy. That's from everybody. Every department need to get busy and get on the right track. And my sincere prayer is every night. I really can't hear what he's saying.
Can you come up, sir?
Shannon Wilson. Like 2018 or 19, didn't we do a penny tax for infrastructure, our roads and stuff like that, and it's going to end in 26? If I'm not.
That was part of that. That was part of that 16 projects. Was you talking about?
Yeah.
The penny sales tax. I know what you're talking about, sir. That was before my time, but I'm learning.
Are we fixing to start that all over again? Because I don't.
I'm just saying, I've put it out there, sir, that you got to start a year early.
Well, I know you did, but we just got over that. Are we fixing to be over that, right?
Coming up.
Penny tax.
I think it's coming up, sir.
End of it was 26.
So 2028 is when it sunsets. It was 2020, and it has an 8-year life. So
Okay.
2028 would end that.
So we
That capital
still
penny projects funded, there was 19 projects on there, I believe, total, or
16.
we whittled it down to 16. And there were some infrastructure things, but some of it was, a portion was courthouse funds, emergency services, the ag center, some sewer work, road and sewer, the YMCA, a library, lots of things that were on that.
So it wasn't just for roads and stuff like that?
No, not at all. And I would.
You wanting to propose another one, is what you're saying. So there'll be another one on top of it.
That won't come off mine, sir. You got to start a year out planning.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So that'll come off and then yours will take over or whatever you want. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Yance. Mr. Philson.
First of y'all, just want everybody to remember, all of this, the 5 years tax before my time, the person that I replaced, some of the county councilmen up here, they voted for lots of stuff. I just want to get that correct. If I voted for something that I did not understand, I apologize. But going day forward, ain't gonna get that by me. And that's all I can say. And something else I want to put out here. We do need to look at how your money is spent. And it like this, that to me, my salary can be donated back to the county. I'll do it free. I'm not here for no money. I'm not here for no title. And I just want people to know that. Not the money for me. I'll donate it to get somebody highway or any county fits. Is any kind of way I can do it? I had to get with the lawyer. I make it happen. I'm here for the people of Lawrence County. And it like this, what I brought up earlier is, if we paying out, serving thing out in Lawrence County when we can mandate it, keep it in Lawrence County. You always say shop in Lawrence County first when we don't even shop in Lawrence County ourselves first. I call it like I see it. The 3 people that who leaving, sometimes, guess what? That the old regime. Let them leave, because they ain't had the balls enough to come back to face y'all for another 3 more years. And I call it like I see it. With the 3 new peoples, that I realize that all of us can look better for Lawrence County if I'm still around. I'm not going to say I'm going to be around, because at the end of the day, it's hard in life. Life is very hard. I love Lawrence County. I came back here, and one of my goals setting to run for Lawrence County Council seat. Ever since I had this seat, I've had to fight for the whole time. And all I ask y'all is like this. If you see something wrong, come up here and talk. Because some of them up here ain't going to do a thing. Because that's why I stop you and talk to you face to face and sit with you. I'm not no politician. I'm just in a politician role. And I tell everybody, I got a heart before I got anything. Thank y'all for what y'all do. Thank y'all for coming out. I thank all these departments y'all, Lawrence County own, got. They hard-working people here. They work hard every day. Thank every man and women that work for Lawrence County. That from District 6. Thank y'all for what y'all do, from being away from your family and stuff. The 3 leaving, happy for them. Move on, because like this in the past, and I understand what y'all saying. It's like this role I seen, the lady that the position I took was here 29 years. I don't got more telephone calls since I took this office, and Mr. Wilson back there, his department, did more for me in 1.5 years since I've been here, and completed job that need to been done out of all these years. And I praise your department, sir. Thank your department what they do. And tell all y'all, roads and bridges, sanitation department, I understand what y'all saying. All these new houses coming in here, and guess what? If we had rooftop an impact fee, y'all wouldn't be in this room. Y'all wouldn't be in this room. I pass it on to all these people. He wasn't, remember, your chairman now was your vice chairman back then. So I put it on him too. He wanted to put it on somebody else, I put it back on him because he was a part of the organization too. Have a good night.
Mr. Brownlee, if you dare.
Appreciate you all coming out tonight. We hear you alongside Justin Lane over there. That's the reason us two were the only ones that voted against the budget, the general operating budget that raised the taxes. Again, I mean, this has probably been on council for 2 years now. It's probably the biggest public comment meeting we've had. Y'all please come back next month. We're here every second Monday of the month at 6 o'clock, alongside some special called meetings every now and then, but just really appreciate you all being out here. Phone line's always open. If you'd like to get together after the meeting, I'm happy to talk.
Awesome. It was long, but it was a good meeting. I'm glad everybody got to say everything they needed to say. I will be the bad guy. I'll be the boogeyman. I'll be whoever you need to be. But let me tell you this. I've been here, this is my 8th year, and I know everything about the procedures. When I speak on something, it's because I've studied it and I know it. I don't make excuses that I'll learn it next time. I've heard that before. It's hollow. I don't vote for something I don't support. Only 2 people voted against the budget. It's easy to blame other people. I take it all responsibility. The budget is going to be what we can do for Lawrence County this time, making every effort to do the things we need to do as core government. No more. People don't want more government. And support our departments and our staff. That's all it was. So to say that you 100% support Lawrence County and the workers and stuff and think that this tax increase was anything but that, that's what it was. And I'll answer what GW said. He didn't raise your taxes. He assessed your properties. We rolled back millage, and then there was a shortfall between what it cost to do government and what it costs to give the employees their increase. And that number is the amount of millage that we increased. That's it. If we had not done that, if we had not given some of the departments the personnel they asked for, that they needed, he only has 8 people. I've heard people say, how can you do that? And he said, I could take 40. That's a lot of money. There was 24 people that asked to be added to full-time employment. We approved 9. We approved 4 part-time people. That's the entirety of the budget. That's it. But I'm fine to take whatever slings and arrows because that's the job. But I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to get beat up for doing the job, for studying the numbers, for knowing how government works, for knowing processes, for telling you no when we can't do something. I'm not apologizing for that. If this is your first time here, I've been here 8 years, I hadn't seen you. If there's an issue, you could have called or said something. I'm not running from anything. This is your county. This is your courthouse. This is your council. You want people, I would hope, that are involved and educated enough to make smart decisions and know that I can't tell you I can do something because it's illegal or there's no money for it. I can make you promises that I can't keep. I'm not doing that. I could disparage other people up here and say bad things about them. I'm not doing that. But I'm not going to be a punching bag either. Sorry. That's not the way this works. Just like you, I'm a citizen of Lawrence County. I ran to represent my district, and I did it. Sorry, I did it. And I chose not to. Someone else wanted to do it. I'm not clogging this up. I'm not staying here because I'm getting something out of it. Apparently, somebody needs somebody to blame, and I'm happy to be that guy, and I'll ride out, but I'll know everything that I said and did was because it's right. Defensible, not emotional. Like, it gets emotional for people that hear things. I believe in facts and doing the right thing. And so if that's something you don't enjoy or you don't like me for it, I'm cool with that. I really am. But you can never say that I hid from a vote, that I didn't explain to you exactly why I voted that way, how it was going to impact it. If you said I raised your taxes, I said, yes, I did, right? I said it. I'm not running from it, but there was a reason I did it. And so I hope that this next council that keeps getting referenced, that the 3 people who are leaving that keep getting referenced, that if that was the reason that Lawrence County hasn't gone to the stratosphere, that you won't have a chicken in every pot, that your roads won't be completely paved, that everything's going to be solved as soon as I walk away, I can't wait to see it, because I'll still be here, and I'll love to bask in that. But the reality of it is, it's hard work, and I just tell the truth. And I do appreciate you being here. I gave all the time, didn't cut anybody off. Our rules were 3 minutes a person for 1 hour. We're a couple hours in, didn't say anything, but I'm not going to be treated poorly. And if I bite back, that's because you want people that are willing to stand up, I will. I'm not going to be ugly. But I want you to come back every time. Know your county, know your government, know how things work. Nancy Garrison has been fighting some of these issues y'all are fighting for the first time tonight for 4 years. And some of the things that we changed and did were because of her efforts and because of the way she was tenacious with coming. There are some things we can solve and some things we can't. And hopefully she'll be here as a voice for you on council. And it should be a very good council. I have high hopes and I wish everybody well. But that's tonight is this is real. We just shared the real. And if there's ever a rumor out on social media or something, I don't ascribe to that. Don't read it, don't get involved in it. If you want to ask me a question, my number's there, my email's there, I'll answer the question. You may not like the answer, but the answer will be the answer. Or if I don't know it for sure, I'm gonna tell you, I'll get you the answer. So if I say it, it's the fact. You may hate it. It may be not what you want to hear, but it is the truth. And so I respect every one of these people that's given their time. The people that work for us in Lawrence County are amazing. They're doing great work. But I'm happy to be the guy that gets blamed, and I'm okay with that. So with that, I will thank you for your attendance, encourage you to come back and vote tomorrow if it's an election that you're interested in. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?